Suddenly, the 49ers might be one player away. What's up? Welcome to the Best 49ers show. We're the Best 49ers hosts, Grant Cohn, Ryan G, Hensley, and teased it with the trade. We're going to talk about a trade the Niners need to make because I don't think they're good enough as currently assembled to run the table. Or maybe I'm freaking wrong because Mac Jones is hooping. We're going to talk about his hooping. First, Ryan, you just graduated college today. Why don't you tell people what you just did?
Yeah, man. Thank you. No, I just it's official today. I've been waiting for them to grade my final assignment. I got my bachelor's of science in psychology, and I'm going for my mastery and possibly my doctorate as well. So late in life, I got addicted to formal education. I've always loved learning and educating myself, but like going the formal route, I never thought I would do, and then I just did it. And I'm loving it and become addicted to it. So thank you, man. I appreciate it.
So today's episode is brought to you by Ryan's pursuit of higher education and his bachelor degree and soon to be master's degree. It's also brought to you by Mint Mobile. If you're still overpaying for wireless, it's time to say yes to saying no. At Mint Mobile, their favorite word is no. No contracts, no monthly bills, no overages, no hidden fees, no BS. Here's why I said yes to making the switch and getting premium wireless for $15 a month. Did you know that Mint Mobile is $15 a month? How much are you paying for your wireless plan? I bet it's a whole lot. Might be more than $100 a month. So are you ready to say yes to saying no? Make the switch at mintmobile.com/cone. That's mintmobile.com/cone. Upfront payment of $45 required. It's the equivalent of $15 a month. Limited time, new customer offer for first 3 months only. Speeds may slow above 35 gigabytes on unlimited plan. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Okay, that's the perfect segue into Mac Jones. Mac Jones is sort of like the Mint Mobile of quarterbacks. You know what I'm saying? Like about $15 a month, not really. That allows you to spend your money on other parts of your life and really have a more rich, fulfilling life as opposed to spending, $8,000 a month on your mortgage that you can't afford, which is Brock Purdy. So, the Niners have their Mint Mobile. They got Mac Jones. He's hooping. And now they have to ask themselves and answer a bunch of questions, starting with this one. Is Mac Jones better than Brock Purdy?
Is Mac Jones better than Brock Purdy? I look at it a bunch of different ways. I think Brock has they're different. They're very different. I would say right now, if you look at Mac Jones this year versus Brock this year, and even if you go back to last year, Mac Jones looks better right now. I think Brock Purdy, I love his mobility. I think you need that in the NFL. But maybe that's wrong. Maybe you don't need that in the NFL because you're looking at what Mac Jones is able to do. Now, I do want to say this, I love how quick Mac Jones gets the ball out. That's why a lot of his passes were short last week. He has to. With this offensive line, you got to get the ball out quick. And I love the story of Mac Jones. I love what he's doing. But I also want to use some caution here because we've seen what Jimmy did when he first came to the 49ers. We've seen what Brock's first year and a half looked like on the 49ers. And Mac Jones is balling out. And he may ball out the rest of the year if he gets an opportunity to play the rest of the year. But I still don't know. Like he could fall off too in a year and a half. So I don't want to crown Mac Jones, but I think right now he's the better quarterback at this moment.
Yeah, and I think it's what's kind of cool about the Mac Jones experience. Ever since Kyle got here, when the Niners brought him over, I think a lot of people were expecting a certain type of offense, the offense he had in Atlanta, which was like high flying. It wasn't a run first offense. They ran the ball. They were balanced when they needed to be and when they were winning, but they could really throw the ball. And ever since he's been here, it's been like, well, let's win with our running game and let's win with our defense and let's play complementary football and let's not turn it over and let's get yacked. It's like, cool, yeah, you've won a lot of games that way, but where's the offense you had in Atlanta? Why aren't you trying to build that? And now with Mac, it's like, oh, boom, there it is. It's right there. Like, you can throw as much as you want. He's playing a lot like What makes Matt Ryan better than Mac Jones from a physical standpoint? Was Matt Ryan more mobile than Mac Jones? No. I mean, did he have a stronger arm than Mac Jones? Maybe. It seems to me that this is what Kyle ultimately wants his offense to look like and how he wants to call games. And he doesn't give a damn about mobility because from his perspective, if the quarterback sees the field, processes very quickly, makes good decisions, and follows his system, he won't have to move. And he proved that in 2016. Maybe he's wrong, but for at least for three games, it's been playing out that way with Mac Jones.
Yeah, if you can have a quarterback in this system, if you have a quarterback that can get the ball out quickly, um, and knows the system, knows where guys are going to be, you can have success. What's great about Mac, what's making him so intriguing is he's not turning the ball over in the process. I've seen some people comparing him to Jimmy Garoppolo, which I think is just them trying to prop up Brock Purdy. Mac Jones isn't like Jimmy. Jimmy Garoppolo was a first-read quarterback, and he was scared to let it fly. This last game, Mac Jones threw a lot of passes underneath, but that's not because he's scared to let it fly. We've seen him let it fly in the past. It was in this particular game, and with the offensive line, the way they're protecting right now, you do have to get the ball out quick. But we know Mac Jones will let it fly. We know he has. When you look at Brock Purdy is clearly more mobile. But to me, when you look at Mac Jones, he's clearly more talented from a throwing standpoint. He has a better arm. Like that pass to Christian McCaffrey on the sideline was just on a freaking rope. Just I don't know. Like he throws harder. He can throw further. He seems to be more accurate where he's throwing it, at least this year, than Brock Purdy. So like I just don't understand why people are comparing him to Jimmy. They're nothing alike. Brock's not like Jimmy. I think what Mac Jones doing right now is tremendous, and you got to roll with it.
Yeah, I think let's compare all of their skill sets since people want to do that and make distinctions. It's important. I think when people talk about Mac, they're so focused on his physical attributes and his limitations, like he can't move. Okay. What I want to focus on with Mac is how smart he is. You can't throw 129 passes in the situations he's been in against a defense he's been facing with the weapons he's had, throw one pick and act like that's a fluke because Brock hasn't done it as far as I know. Jimmy never did it. I mean, you got to really process defenses very quickly and correctly. And at least for 3 games in this system, he's done it. And with Jimmy, his issue wasn't necessarily physical. His arm was good enough. I mean, he was tough enough. He just was not smart from a football IQ standpoint. He would do stuff that you're like, dude, it's year 5 in the system. What the hell are you doing? And I think with Brock, we give him the benefit of the doubt because he works so hard and he's just so earnest and he means so well. But he makes some mistakes during games. It's like, man, what were you thinking? I haven't seen many moments with Mac where I was like, what are you thinking? Looks like he's been in this offense for years.
Yeah, he had a pass right to was it a linebacker or a safety that just dropped it? So he could have had an interception in that last game. When they get dropped, we don't talk about it. I do think Mac Jones is a better thrower of the football. I think he's great for this system. I think Brock Purdy in his first year and a half, he was making better decisions than he's making right now. So I know he's capable of it. And I don't know what I saw you blame me on the post-game show for his behavior lately, as far as like he's trying to do too much. If Brock could get if and when Brock comes back and he gets back to the way he's playing in the first year and a half, where he's just taking what the defense gives him and not trying to force things, he could get back to really good. He'll always be more mobile than Mac Jones. Mac Jones is more mobile than I thought he was, though. I'll say that. But Mac Jones is always going to be a better thrower of the football as far as like arm talent, being able to get passes late. Like he can throw a little later than Brock and still get it there because he has a lot more speed on the ball. So the one thing I'll say, though, is this is like as great as Mac is playing right now, it would absolutely not surprise me at all if like they rolled with Mac Jones for a long period of time and then Mac Jones showed that he's not that great either. Like that wouldn't surprise me either, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not saying like, you know what, the Niners gave the contract to the wrong guy. They should have been paying Mac $265 million. I think the takeaway here is that the Niners can get really good production from the quarterback spot and they don't need to spend top of the market money. I'm not saying that any quarterback can do what Mac's doing or what Brock did, but like a lot of quarterbacks can do what they did. in what they're doing. And I do think Mac is good, but I think, Darnold's good, and Darnold could have put up numbers. And there's no reason to act like the Niners have to spend all this money, because most teams that spend that much money on quarterbacks regret it in a year or two. And I think the Niners might already regret it, So have that be a lesson. Spend on everything else. But as long as you're in business with Kyle Shanahan, this is like one market you can sort of avoid. And that's a good thing.
Yeah. And, the other thing, too, is like you can debate whether Mac Jones or Brock Purdy's better. You can think, hey, maybe you think Brock Purdy's twice as good as Mac Jones. He's not 10 times as good as Mac Jones, which is what he's getting paid in comparison to Mac Jones, right? Like, so I think that is the thing about this. And like we were saying, use cautious, take your time on extending Brock before you pay him, because you want to see if he bounces back and becomes the same Brock Purdy that he was in year one. And so far he hasn't. He's only played a couple games, but so far he hasn't looked like that guy.
Yeah, and I think this brings us back to Brock. I think this isn't as Mac doing this doesn't make people feel like, oh damn, Mac's the MVP. Mac should be getting $50 million a year. I think it puts a spotlight on Brock. Like, hey man, are you kind of a fraud? Like, do we have the wrong impression of you? Because Mac can win games throwing 49 passes in the system. You can't do that. You've never done that. Like, Mac's 3-0, throwing at least 30 passes in a game, throwing like 40 passes in a game. Brock's record throwing 40 passes in at least 30 passes in a game. When Brock does that in the NFL, he's 9-12. His passer rating's 89. He's 31 touchdowns and 26 picks in those games. In college, he was 11-13. So it seems like he's the kind of guy who is really good if he's not the focal point of the offense. If you have a really good running game and you can run the ball 40 times or 35 times and he can sort of be like the cherry on top, he's great. But once he becomes the focal point of the offense, throws a lot of picks. It was not necessarily about the injuries, which are also significant. It's about the interceptions and the inability to be a pass-first team with Brock Purdy, which is what you have to be this year. And one more thing, the fact that he throws so many picks with Christian McCaffrey on the field is damning. Because last year you could say, all right, well, Christian's not out there. There's no check down. He has to force these passes. Maybe, maybe not. This year, Christian's out there. We're seeing how Mac Jones uses him, how Mac Jones hasn't thrown picks. Jimmy didn't throw picks when Christian McCaffrey was out there for his 4 games with Christian. Brock's still throwing hella picks, and it's like he thinks he'd rather scramble around than dump it down to Christian, who isn't what he used to be, but he's 1 more athletic than Brock and 2 more built to actually take tackles than Brock, who keeps breaking down. So that's my spiel.
So a couple things too. You're right. Like one of the interceptions, I forget which game it was. I think it was against the Jaguars. On one of those interceptions, Christian McCaffrey was wide open underneath, and all he had to do, it would have been and it was on the first down. Also, he didn't need to force it. 2, excuse me. A lot of the excuses for Brock Purdy last year was he's throwing to plumbers. He doesn't have anybody to throw to. And what Mac Jones did, throwing 40-plus times a game, he's throwing it to freaking who they would have called plumbers if Brock Purdy was throwing to them, and he didn't win, right? There's no George Kittle. There's no wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, or wide receiver. He's throwing to the 4th, 5th, and 6th wide receivers and the backup tight end. So that's something to be considered, and I desperately want to see what Mac Jones would look like if he had the Avengers on his team, because he's doing really well without it. The other thing what was I gonna talk about? There was something else that you brought up that slipped my mind. I don't know.
It'll come back to you.
It will.
It seems to me, you put a poll out on Twitter. 56% of Niner fans said they want to see Mac starting moving forward. Are you surprised that Niner fans are so quick to
fickle?
Are so fickle? Yeah. Are you surprised?
Yeah, I am actually, man. I wasn't expecting. I wasn't expecting 56 point. And it's my following. I understand that. I did just take a statistics class, and I get it. It's people that follow me on Twitter, not necessarily a representation of the entire 49ers fan base. But I am surprised that 56% said they want to roll with Mac Jones. The question was, if both are healthy moving forward, who should be the quarterback? And everybody said Mac Jones. So quick, only after 3 games, are they ready to roll with Mac Jones over Brock Purdy? That is surprising to me. Are you
It's
surprised?
surprising, but I also don't think it's the wrong answer because I think Niner fans realize that Brock Purdy's issues aren't injury. They're not just injury issues. He's had this turnover issue going back to the Christmas game against the Ravens. And he really hasn't had any dominant performances since 2023. He's lost most of his starts since 2023. He's been a turnover machine, and you can make any excuses you want. But once you see Mac Jones step in with an even worse team, go undefeated and not turn the ball over much, it's like, well, damn, I don't know what else to say about Brock at this time. So maybe I think it's fair to say Mac's on a heater. Don't know if he can keep it up or stay healthy, but as long as he's doing this, he needs to be the quarterback. And you can always go back to Brock later.
And the one thing I think this is what I was going to say earlier. I was
And then,
very impressed with how Mac Jones, how tough he was.
Mhm.
Like that's something. There's something to be said for that. It inspires your team. Like he was getting rocked, and he just kept getting up. He already had a knee issue. He just kept getting up from it. Was about to throw up on the sideline. Had to eat 3 bananas to stay in the game, and he did. That is also something that needs to be acknowledged. He played with a lot of grit and tenacity in that game.
I think he just reminded people of his pedigree too. Like he won a national championship at Alabama. He has the same pedigree as like Jalen Hurts. This isn't a guy who, exceeded expectations at North Dakota State or was, plucky and experienced at Iowa State. This guy went to freaking Bama and won it all and put up big numbers and probably should have won the Heisman, but he's so dorky that they gave it to his wide receiver instead. Okay, whatever. Then he was a first-round pick. He has legit pedigree. Jimmy wasn't a first-round pick. Brock doesn't have that kind of pedigree. It's kind of nice to see someone with that level of talent on the Niners. It's been a long freaking time.
And honestly, I think he would be on the Niners if it wasn't. I think there's 2 things that messed up Mac Jones, why he wasn't drafted to the Niners. The first one is, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mean to, but I believe he had a DUI in college, right? I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'm not sure. I don't remember, but
I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry, but I believe that's the case.
Yeah.
Chat, let me know. And then he had this $100 million video that came out where he was talking about $100 million.
He seemed immature.
It was a character issue. I think the Niners were scared of the character, and that's why they weren't willing to draft him in the first round. But he has matured. He has been humbled, and the adversity that he's gone through has made him a better person and more mature.
Yeah, it's possible if the Niners had drafted him after trading up to number 3 that he would have failed, that he wouldn't have been ready to take the team from Jimmy Garoppolo, and he would have been immature, and he would have felt entitled because Kyle Shanahan anointed him, and maybe this is the path he needed to take to be as successful as he is right now. But so I have no idea. Oh, maybe he would have won the Super Bowl as a freaking rookie. I don't know. All I know is right now, after all he's gone through, he's the best quarterback on the team.
Right now he is. I would have to agree with that. Now, again, I do like Brock Purdy. I like the leader of Brock Purdy. I like the mobility of Brock Purdy. I like the story of Brock Purdy. He seems like a nice guy. He just needs to get back to what he was doing, what he said he was going to do in the offseason, which is get back to the fundamentals. Take what the defense gives you. That's what made him successful. And he said he was going to do it in the offseason, but he hasn't done it in these 2 games that he played this year.
And so why are fans so quick to bail? I mean, I think it's understandable. Purdy came along like King Arthur. Like, it was so improbable. Okay, we got Jimmy. We're trying to replace Jimmy. It should be easy to replace Jimmy, but we drafted the wrong guy, and he's a project, and he's not ready, and we can't develop him. This sucks. What are we going to do? Oh, my God. The last pick in the draft steps up and pulls the sword out of the stone and can lead the offense. Like, what a miracle. And it was great. And it was a great story. And they'll make a movie about it one day. But I think it always kind of felt temporary. Like, how long is this really going to last? This guy who was passed over by even the Niners a million times is really going to be the guy for a long time. He's 6 feet tall. He runs around a lot. He doesn't run a 4.5. He's not particularly strong. This is going to really be sustainable. And it's starting to look like maybe not. He gets hurt. He throws picks, at least catching on. And now you have Mac Jones in there. It's like, man, he's not flashy, but he's a legit first-round pick that Kyle Shanahan wants. He runs the system. When he gets hit, he gets back up. I don't know. Maybe this is sustainable.
One thing that I wanted to get your opinion on is after the game, Trent Williams was asked what do you think about Mac Jones or whatever the question was, and he said you can tell why he was drafted so high. That was weird. That was, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I'm not saying he was purposely taking shots at Brock, but that does come off as like a contrast, right? Like when you look at Mac Jones, you can tell why he's drafted so high. It's not like
says another guy who's the first-round pick.
Yeah, it's not like he's like, oh, unlike the last pick of the draft, the other quarterback we have. He didn't say that, but it almost felt like that, right? Like you can see the level of talent. And I think for Mac Jones, it's just the arm talent is what really sets him apart from Brock Purdy. Like when we were at the training camp when Sam Darnold and Trey Lance and Brock Purdy was easily third in arm talent. Like Sam Darnold's arm talent is better, Trey Lance's arm talent is better, and then there was Brock Purdy. See, and I think Mac Jones, and you can see the difference.
And there's also like why does Brock Purdy throw more interceptions in the system than Mac, or at least he has been recently? Is it because Mac is just smarter than Brock? I don't know about that. Does Mac have like a higher football IQ than Brock? I don't know about that. Brock seems pretty freaking smart and pretty freaking prepared. There's that other physical thing that people don't like to talk about because it feels like you're picking on a guy, but it's professional sports and size matters. And Brock said it himself. 40% of the time he throws, he doesn't see where he's throwing. He has to throw blind. He's anticipating what might be there. Whereas Mac is 6'3". He can physically see where he's throwing. So he throws blind less often. He throws fewer picks. At least that's how it's played out so far. That stuff matters.
I think a big part of it is this. This is actually going to say, and I forgot earlier. Am I froze? All right, there we go.
You're back.
There we go. I think Brock Purdy, if you look at Brock Purdy, first year and a half versus his third year on the team, or he was trying to do too much. And maybe it was because the guys weren't there with him and he was trying to earn that big contract. So I think that's part of it, like trying to do too much, right? And then this year, maybe he's trying to justify his big payday. Maybe he's trying to show everyone that I was worth it. Or maybe he feels like he has to be that guy because he is paid so much money. Maybe that's what's going on with him, because when he threw that interception, the one I was talking about earlier against the Jaguars, he saw Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was right in front of the guy that he ended up throwing it. He threw past Christian McCaffrey. He threw an interception because he was trying to make the big play as opposed to just taking what the defense gives you. So I think there's that part of Brock too, where he's got to fix that. Like, dude, you're here, you're paid. You don't need to prove anything anymore. You just need to take what the defense gives you.
Yeah. Last thing I want to say about this before we move on. Again, this is not about Mac. It's about Brock. And Brock's hurt right now, so you don't have to make a decision. But the way he's been playing, he's thrown 2 interceptions in 3 consecutive starts. At a certain point, you bench yourself playing like that. Doesn't matter how many picks they gave up, how much money they're paying you. You can't play anymore. And we're seeing it with Geno right now. They gave him a multi-year deal. He's stinking it up. He's 1-4. He's got 6 touchdowns and 9 picks. They could bench him today if they wanted to. If he does it again next week, I bet they will bench him. A couple of years ago, Jimmy got a big extension from a big contract from the Raiders. They benched him after 6 games. He was 3-3 with 7 touchdowns and 9 picks. Right now, Brock's 1-1 with 4 touchdowns and 4 picks. If he keeps playing like Jameis Winston, it's gonna be Mac's team. So at some point, he needs to just do better. No excuses.
And I want to ask you, why? What do you think the players think right now? What do you think they're thinking when they're looking at what they've been doing with Brock and now what they're doing with Mac? What do you think they think?
I think they don't care who the quarterback is. I think they just want to win. And if Mac is bringing in the wins, then Mac's the guy. And if Brock comes back and wins, then he's the guy. But I do also feel like there's something refreshing about having a new quarterback, particularly when the previous one lost the Super Bowl. We saw it with Jimmy. You get there, you have all this optimism. Man, I don't know what it is about this guy, but we just win with this guy. And when we get to the Super Bowl, we're going to freaking win. And then you get there and the the fairy tale ends and he's not, I mean, he turns into a pumpkin. He's clearly outclassed. He's not good enough. You lose to Mahomes, who gets his ass kicked the following year by Jalen Hurts. And this is like this feeling around the team, like, yeah, we're good. If we get there, though, like, is our quarterback truly good enough? I don't know. We thought he was, but then he wasn't. Now you have that mystery again. Like, I don't know. If we go to the Super Bowl and Mac's the guy, like, we might win. We've never seen him lose a Super Bowl. He might be the missing piece. I think it brings in a little bit more optimism.
And that's why, like, me as a fan, I was very hesitant on Brock Purdy, and I waited a long time to be like, okay, he's good. And maybe I should have waited longer. But, like, if you go through, like, the Colin Kaepernick era, and then you go through the Jimmy Garoppolo era, and now if what we're seeing, the trajectory of Brock Purdy, if that's accurate, man, the next time the 49ers get a quarterback, I'm going to wait 3-4 years before I even consider them legit.
Yeah. I think that's I keep bringing this conversation back to Brock, what it means for Brock. No, let's talk about what it means for Mac. It means we're not going to get overboard with Mac. Is he the guy for right now? Probably. We don't know for sure. If he continues this run, does that mean he's a franchise quarterback? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. We've seen lots of quarterbacks have runs on this team in the system that couldn't sustain it. So thank goodness the Niners gave him a 2-year contract that don't have to make a decision. And if he has a good year and holds out, then tough, dude. They better not give out another contract to a quarterback while he has years left on his deal just because he's unhappy or something.
Where I'm at right now. I'm even at the point, like, even if Mac Jones continues to play this well, I still wouldn't want to play him. Like, who else can we find for like $5 million? This like Mac
like
Jones?
Bryce Young will be available. CJ. I mean, there's going to be other first round picks who are mismanaged that'll be available who could do well, like Daniel Jones right now. Yeah. Are the Colts really going to give Daniel Jones $50 million or tell themselves like, hey man, maybe we could just
find another Daniel
Jones.
The
next? Yeah, who will be available soon? Kyler will be available soon. All these guys who've been, I don't know, just saying. You can get
I'm really at the point, like, unless you're like Mahomes or Allen or Jackson, Stafford, I'm at the point where it's like, I'm not paying these guys. No. I'd rather just try to find another one and invest in the rest of my team. That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah, unless you're certain that your quarterback is a future Hall of Famer, one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever do it, move on. Just move on. Take some super chat. Zach Rivero says, Mac feels like the second coming of Jimmy G. Oof.
See, I don't understand that one. I don't
feel that either. But we'll see. I'm him 707 says, imagine if we drafted Cam Scatty, there would be no point in juice, and we would run Cam and CMC in the backfield. Oh, yeah.
Dude, he blocked. He threw a block better than any block I've seen Kyle Juszczyk throw. He should be the fullback for the 49ers, honestly. And
he should be the fullback for the 49ers. He's even number 44. He has the same numbers as Juice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that was a missed opportunity. Purdy is better and proven, says Lil Q861. He's looked good in playoffs. Mac is good as well, and it's great he's on our team. Both can be true at the same time.
Well, it can also be true that Purdy was really good in the first half of his career and really not good in the last half, which I think it is true. Yeah.
Crazy Rod 16 says, can't wait to go to this Bucks game. However, NFL screwed me up with the schedule change. It was 1 p.m. and now it's 4:25 p.m. I'm not mad about it. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think to your last point, the first half of Brock's career is so much better than the second half. People made all these excuses for the second half. Well, he didn't have this guy. There's been injuries, yada, yada, yada. Who the fuck is Mac Jones playing with?
Right.
Really blows that narrative up. Jason Lutt says, bigger offseason signing, Salah or Jones? Jones.
Salah.
Jones
Who?
He's a quarterback.
Jones. Oh, Mac Jones. I'm sorry. I didn't know who Jones was at first. I just call him Mac. Around here, we just call him Mac. I changed my my Bay Area Mac ratings. Now it's Mac Dre, Mac Jones, and then Mac Mall. Mac Mall was
Someone needs to make a mural with Mac Jones and Mac Dre on it together. Like, how long is that going to take before it happens?
Yeah.
Zach Rivero says, I'm more comparing the Jimmy experience, not skills. Well, let's hope Brock doesn't blow out his ACL running. I mean, Mac. Either one. Yeah. Crazy Rod 16 says Niners should trade for an rusher from the Jets. We'll get there. Daz says, how can you pay a quarterback $50 million that's not the focus of the offense? Isn't that what the Seahawks tried to do with Russell Wilson, and then the Broncos tried to do with Russell Wilson? Like, isn't Brock Purdy Russell Wilson in a sense? You don't want Brock to cook. You don't want Russ to cook. You want them to be like the sous chef to the running back.
Russell has a better arm, but here's what I'll say is this is most of the quarterbacks in the NFL that are getting paid $50 million a year, I would imagine if you could ask the owners and the coaches behind the scenes if they regret it, I would say everyone but like maybe 5 or 6 regrets it.
Yeah. All Day Everyday Kim says reboot of Ocean's 11 starting Bubble Wrap Brock. West Coast Jay says still want Brock as a starter long term, but let's get a Nick Foles type of run going. Haha. Joseph For Real says I want to see Kyle lock in till the Mack truck's tires fall off. You guys see Jimmy G's new jeans commercial? He didn't play Thursday, but he still got a slight something.
I didn't see his jeans commercial. No.
Fonzie Gonzalez says people keep saying we should have drafted Mack in the first place, but do we think Mack would be playing like he is now if he didn't go through what he did in New England and Jacksonville? Kyle Shanahan isn't known for being a quarterback developer. We made that point. We're a little behind in the super chats, but it is a good point.
Yeah.
He might have needed to go through this. All Day Everyday Kim says same Brock as last season and still got paid. Doug and Waffa says Grant's material been elite like Mack's quarterback play. Thank you very much. Daz says maybe Mack is on a Baker arc. Both have matured. Former first rounders on bad teams, bounced around the league. Baker now on a good team is an MVP candidate.
That's why you don't write off quarterbacks until you see them on a good team.
Yeah, and Baker went from seeming like kind of immature to being like actually the fiery leader you want that you wish Justin Herbert would be. And Mack might be sort of making that transition as well, being kind of goofy to being like kind of brilliant with the way he can balance it. I don't know. We'll see how we still got to see how Mack responds to losing a game. Everyone looks great when they're winning, but how does he respond to adversity, even if it's not his fault? That was his issue in New England. Crazy Rod says, I believe Kyle Shanahan believes in Mac Jones more than Brock Purdy. That's an interesting take. I think I believe the same. Steven Draper says, year one for Purdy equals Jimmy off. Kyle doesn't run anymore. The Jimmy offense, Kyle doesn't run anymore. I don't know, man. I think we're seeing more throws down the field. When did Kyle ever call a fade route on 4th and 2 for Jimmy Garoppolo? Hey, throw deep to our flanker.
Early
never seen
in his career until he showed that he was scared to do it.
All right. I want to skip ahead to a different topic. We're going to come to some other stuff in a minute, but 4-1, 2 quarterbacks that a lot of teams would want, a defensive coordinator that a lot of teams would want, offensive coordinator that a lot of teams would want, Fred Warner, some young talent, George Kittle coming back, maybe Ayuk eventually too. Is this team like one player away? I mean, look, we've seen the difference in their defense and pass rush with Nick Bosa and without. Their defense wasn't really doing much against the Rams. They made some key plays. But Alfred Collins isn't going to, punch someone in the face and take the ball away and recover it every game at the goal line. Should the Niners trade for a pass rusher? Do you feel like they're in a position where they're one player away?
Yeah, I mean, they're 4-1, despite not having a rushing touchdown, despite not having an interception. They're 4-1. They just beat the Rams. They are better than expected. They're 4-1 despite having 25 injuries. Literally 25 injuries, with not having their wide receiver 1, 2, or 3, not having their tight end. So if you get all of those guys back, they are really much more of a contender than I ever imagined. To me, their greatest need is something they're not going to trade for, which is the O-line. They need talent on that O-line, but that's not something you can really trade for in the middle of the season and have some plug and play. But with a pass rusher, you very much can't. So I would love to see them go after somebody that can help fill the void of Nick Bosa. Absolutely.
Yeah, it seems like, there's Kayvon Thibodeau, there's all kind of guys, but the number one guy on the market right now is Trey Hendrickson. And you could argue he's better than Bosa. He's been more productive than Bosa the last few years. He's a little older than Bosa, hasn't torn his ACL 3 times. I saw people floating on Twitter that the Niners should trade Mac Jones for Trey Hendrickson. I wouldn't do that because to me, I still think the Niners need Mac Jones. I don't know what you're going to get from Brock Purdy. I don't know how much he's going to play, how many interceptions he's going to throw. But I almost feel like the Bengals would do that trade. And I don't know, if you could get Hendrickson for a 3rd-round pick and pay him and say, well, we can't afford him and Bosa, I'd say, all right, well, then trade Bosa when you have to. I would do that. And I think if the Niners had Trey Hendrickson, all of a sudden they could put pressure on the quarterback. They could intercept passes. they could go really far. They would need to figure out their running game. I don't think they're going to win a Super Bowl with the worst running game in the league. Christian's a good player, but he's a much better receiver than runner at this point. And Brian Robinson Jr. isn't the answer. So if they could go get someone like Breece Hall in addition, maybe they're 2 players away, unless Jordan James is the guy, which is
Yeah, I want to see Jordan James, man. I want to see what they got. Who was that cat they had in the preseason? Looked really good, and he's on the
Corey
Vikings.
Kiner. He's now on the
Corey Kiner.
practice squad of the Vikings.
Yeah, they should snatch him, man. They need some guys. That's the other thing is like we can talk about them being 1 player away. That's as long as Christian McCaffrey is healthy, and I know he's not doing well in the running game at all. And a lot of that has to do with the offensive line, but a lot of it's him too. But he's so important from a passing game standpoint that if you lose Christian McCaffrey, I think it would really change this whole offense. And so, we'll see maybe if they get these receivers and Kittle back, that might open things up. And I thought you had a terrific insight video the other day about keeping Tonjes involved in the offense. I think that's going to be crucial. But yeah, like this offense would look very different if you take Christian. He's the number 1 weapon on the team, even though he's struggling running the ball. He's still the number 1.
He's the most consistent player on the team.
Yeah,
on the offense.
So
yep,
I would like to. They need to start. Here's the thing. They're not having success running the ball with Christian McCaffrey, so why not throw out another running back at the same time and see what they can do?
Yeah, do a different look, try a different personnel group, and do something different. All I know is this is a different topic, but having the fullback out there isn't helping the running game. The fullback isn't a runner. They tried to give him the ball at the 1 yard line. He lost a yard. He's never been a runner. He's a pretty good receiver, but he only catches like maybe 2 passes a game tops. And as a blocker, he's not helping anything. So I'd like to see when Kittle comes back, I'd like to see them just use different formations more. And they are. He used to play 50% of their offensive snaps. This year is down to 35%. They could even go to 20 because if you were ranking their personnel groupings, I think 21 would be toward the bottom. I think they'd be much more dangerous with 11 personnel. If you're going to be a pass-first team, get Bourne and Robinson and Pearsall or Jennings on the field together at the same time because Jennings is a hell of a blocker. Like you could still run the ball from that, but you'd be much more dangerous. And then if you really want to get like heavy personnel, get Tonjes on the field. I think he's a much more dangerous player overall than freaking Juszczyk.
It's funny. I feel like Christian McCaffrey is really a slot receiver, and Kyle Juszczyk's really like a backup tight end. And so, maybe that's why the run game is struggling a little bit right now. I agree. I mean, to me, 21 personnel could be good. It depends on your personnel that's out there. Like if you had a Christian and Jordan James, that might be more effective, right? Because then you don't know where it's coming from. CMC can pop out as a receiver.
I like that 21 personnel. With 2 tailbacks.
Yeah. So, but to get back to the topic of the question, I do think they need a pass rusher. I love what I've seen from Huff. I think he's fantastic. But he's not the every down player that Nick Bosa is.
And he needs help. And as good as Michael Williams and Alfred Collins have been so far, they're not really what you would call pass rushers at this point in their career. To me, they have 1 pass rusher on their team, and it's Huff. And everything else is, I mean, Saleh has to scheme it up, but when he tried to blitz against the Rams, it seemed like it would be illegal contact, defensive holding, defensive pass interference. Like that wasn't working well either, which brings us to our next topic. Malik Mustafa he could be practicing today or Wednesday. The Niners seem to be close to opening up his practice window. They need him back as soon as possible. Marquise Siegel, solid player, good against the run, getting roasted in coverage weekly. How big of a addition do you think Malik Mustafa will be to this defense?
Huge. And I don't know if it'll be right away because he's been gone for so long. I don't know like how ready he is. Is he in football shape? Can they just pop him in right away? I would imagine there's going to be some kind of slow integration of Malik Mustafa, but he for some reason had this, I don't know, fans would just say it like that he struggles in coverage. Malik Mustafa, absolutely not the case. One of the best coverage safeties in the league last year statistically. He's a much better coverage safety than Siegel is. I like Siegel, I like the potential of him, but if you want somebody to hit just as hard if not harder and you want someone that can actually cover, Malik Mustafa is that guy. It's just a matter of like how ready he is to get integrated. Does he need like a couple weeks? Are they going to slow play him? That's not a Robert Saleh guy, Malik Mustafa, right? Malik was drafted last year before Robert Saleh. So I'm not sure what Robert Saleh's opinion is on Malik Mustafa. But from what I've seen, dude is great. And he's really good in coverage and can hit just as hard in the running game.
I got some numbers for you.
Okay.
Marquise Siegel, who, again, maybe a promising player. He was in on that tackle at the end that won the game. Through 5 games, he's been targeted 24 times. That's a lot of times for safety. He's given up 21 catches, 302 yards, 14.4 yards per completion, 12.6 yards per target, 2 touchdowns, and a quarterback rating of 146.5. That's Siegel. Here's Mustafa as a rookie. 16 games, 12 starts, 1 pick, targeted 20 times, gave up 7 completions for 83 yards and 1 touchdown and a quarterback rating of 44.4. That's according to Pro Football Reference.
That's what I'm saying.
Take it with a grain of salt. You've seen these guys play. There's a big difference.
Malik coming out of college, that was what they said. Like, he can't cover. And I'm like, what? I'm like watching him cover in college, watching his film. I'm like, yes, he can. And then his rookie year, he does that. He did fantastic in coverage. So there's this, we got to destroy that narrative that Malik Mustafa is not a good coverage safety. He's a really good coverage safety, and he's a really hard hitter. And to me, he's the best safety on this team. If he's healthy, he's the best safety on this team, no question. So hopefully Robert Saleh can integrate him back into the defense pretty quickly, and Siegel can go back on a learning curve. That's what I would like to see.
And you look at what this defense could be in a month with Mustafa out there, either next to Siegel or Pinnock, whoever's better. Renardo Green went from giving up long catches to being maybe the Niners' best corner. He was really good against the Rams. Upton Stout, he's had his moments. If he's not in there, Chase Lucas is just as good.
I want to see Chase Lucas, man. I'm sorry. I like Stout. I've been really encouraged by him, but Chase Lucas in the preseason looked like an MVP on this defense. And it sounds crazy, but no, there's Fred Warner. I apologize. Let me take that back. But he looked really freaking good in the preseason.
Man. I think he might be better than Upton Stout right now. I think the defense maybe improved when Lucas went in the game against the Rams. Lenore's good. He made that incredible deflection at the end to sort of save the game. I don't know if people saw that. So, yeah, get that pass rusher because you're going to get your biggest weakness, which is covering tight ends. And, Siegel is getting burned by everyone. I'm sorry, Siegel. I like you.
If you put Malik in for Siegel and you put Chase Lucas in for Stout, and you get another pass rusher, you're talking about a hella good defense, man. And
I agree.
I got to say, what you said, maybe the best corner on this. Did you mean to say that? Because Diamador Lenore is the best corner on this team, not Ronaldo.
No, I meant in the game against the Rams. No offense to Lenore, but Green balled out in that game. So shout out to Ronaldo.
He really did. Yeah, that was encouraging to see. Think about that. I want to can we just talk about that real quick?
Mm-hmm.
The fact that Diamador Lenore and Renardo Green held Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. They did a really good job. I know Demo had a couple penalties. I don't necessarily agree with all of them, but for those two guys to do what they did against those two receivers, possibly the best two receiver, best duo one of the best duos in the league, they did a good job, man.
Well, they got just as big of a task, if not a bigger task, this week with Baker Mayfield and Emeka Egbuka and Chris Godwin. No Mike Evans, no Liam Cohn, no Bucky Irving, but that's going to be a tough game.
What's his name? What's the Vita
Vea.
Vita Vea, dude, is going to eat Jake Brendel's lunch. Oh my God.
Or Connor Colby's or Dominic Pooney's, whoever. He could eat all 3 of their lunches if he's hungry enough.
That's going to be trouble, dude.
If he has space in his stomach. All right, I got a question for you. Mac Jones balling, which is leading to a lot of praise for Kyle Shanahan, because if Mac Jones does well, that means that maybe Kyle wasn't being propped up by Brock Purdy, wasn't being saved by Brock Purdy. Maybe Kyle Shanahan really is the genius that he thinks he is. Maybe he's underappreciated. Maybe he's the real MVP of this improbable 4-1 start. Do you think he has put himself in the conversation for Coach of the Year?
I mean, I don't think Kyle Shanahan's a genius. I don't like the word genius, right? I don't think Kyle Shanahan is a genius, but do I think he's a front runner for Coach of the Year? I think absolutely, man. Like, look what he's doing and who he's doing it with. And I'm not a big Kyle guy, and I have criticisms even in the last game. Like, real quick, like it's multiple games now before the half. You got 2 minutes left, and you are clearly just going for a field goal. You're not going for a touchdown. You're clearly just trying to get a field goal. You should be going for a touchdown and settling for a field goal. And at the end of the game, when you're backed up after the forced fumble, you're not trying to get the first down. You're just trying to be safe and run the ball. Like, to me, like, go for the first in the game. So those are my criticism of the last game. Other than that, he had a fantastic game. But to get back to the topic, I think Kyle has to be in the running for Coach of the Year based on what he's doing and who he's doing it with. I got to be real.
It's early, but I would agree he's absolutely in the running. So we're going to put him as a candidate. Let's name other potential candidates right now, early on. I'll go first.
Okay.
Shane Steichen with Indianapolis. What he's doing with Daniel Jones is just as impressive what Kyle's doing with Mac Jones.
Yeah. I think so. I also
could name another one.
Go ahead.
Liam Cohn.
Yeah.
We'll see what he does tonight against the Chiefs, but 3-1 and he beat Kyle. He's doing it with freaking Jacksonville.
Yeah. Another one, man. Like, what is the Lions' record right now?
Good call. 4-1, dude. Everyone wrote them off when they lost Ben Johnson, but they're 4-1, and that Dan Campbell has not won the award yet.
And that's the thing, is that they're 4-1, and I wrote them off. I'm like, oh, once Ben Johnson's gone, this offense is going to fall apart. I believe they're the number one scoring offense in the NFL.
They are. I got another one.
You got to give me credit for that. Yeah.
I got another one. That's a good call. Vrabel.
Why Vrabel?
I mean, New England looks solid again. They just beat the Bills. They're 3-2. He's a first-year coach. Like, a lot of times the Coach of the Year is a guy who's fresh on the scene, pretty young. And if he can turn this team around, no one expected New England to be good this year.
Yeah. What about our guy in Pittsburgh just for maintaining Aaron Rodgers and having success? They're number one in their division right now.
What if they go 14-3 this year? I mean, really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All the excuses people made for Mike Tomlin the last few years seem to be bearing out. Like, yeah, he didn't have a freaking quarterback, and he still found ways to keep the team above 500. Now he has a quarterback who's really old but still good, and they're winning, as opposed to John Harbaugh, who might be the coach that everyone thought Tomlin was. Dude, you have Lamar Jackson, and you can't figure it out. Although he doesn't have Lamar right now, still.
Lamar's out now.
Yeah.
No, I'm personally a big Harbaugh and Tomlin fan. I think both of them are fantastic. I know they get critique, but a lot of people don't consider the fact that their division that they're in is AFC North has been probably the most difficult division over the last several years to coach in. I mean, you're going against powerhouses damn near every week outside of the Browns. So, and they got a great defense. So I think both those coaches are great too.
I got one more guy quietly having a great year. Todd Bowles. He's 4-1.
He is 4-1. Yeah.
He's good. He's not going to win it, but I'm just saying. Good coach.
You never know.
Been around.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do some prize picks. Although we got to get the prize picks. Oh, where's Ryan? There he is. And where are the prize picks? Here we go. Let me check my lineups to see if I won anything recently. Nope. Wait, hold on. Yep. Ooh, look at that. Is that us? No, I don't think so.
No.
Carson Wentz, Justin Jefferson. Jerry Jeudy let me down with his 15 yards. I hate Jerry Jeudy. This one, another win. Ooh, Kyron Williams let me down.
You have a lot of success on here, buddy.
Well, I mean, I am the number one prize picker, as everyone has always said. Okay, Niners. Can we find them? Are they here? Do they exist?
Probably not, right?
Okay, let's do tonight then. Let's get some.
Yeah. It's gonna be an interesting game.
It's gonna be an interesting game.
Yeah.
I always expect the Chiefs to win, but they're kind of struggling this year. Let's start with Mahomes, 251.5, more or less.
Oh, that's tough. I'm gonna say more because it's Monday night. No, wait, I'm gonna take that back. The Jags defense is hella good. Less. I'm sorry.
See, there you go. Now you're using your noodle. Trevor Lawrence, 217.5 against a pretty good Kansas City Chiefs defense.
I think he's gonna have to.
Yeah, they're not going to let Travis Etienne run for a bajillion yards. Speaking of Travis Etienne, let's go to rushing yards. 65.5 for Etienne, more or less.
I gotta say more on that one, right? That's pretty straightforward.
65.5 isn't a lot.
Yeah.
What about Isaiah Pacheco? Who runs the ball for that team? I don't know. Let's go receiving yards for the Chiefs. Xavier Worthy, he's healthy for now. 57.5 receiving yards.
I think that's a good pick. Yeah,
I think that's a good pick. Let's go more on that one. I like that. Brenton Strange, Brian Thomas, he's the guy. Boy, he's struggling. 56.5.
Man.
This is
in
the
one.
week.
The trend is not good, but you could also say he's due.
He's due. He's getting close. He's sniffing it.
What would you say? I'll defer to you on this one.
I don't believe in him. I'm just going to put it that way. How about no?
All right.
How about no? Okay, one more. Did we get? Hold on. Here we go. No, I want to do the Niners. I'm mad that we can't do the Niners.
Can we do Kelsey on this game?
Yes.
He's
Here
a
we
bum.
go. Bum, dude.
He's total
40.5.
40
40.5. Boy, lowered expectations, huh?
I'm just kidding. I don't call him a bum, but I would say more in this game. It's Monday night. I would say more.
Okay. So we're fading Thomas and Mahomes because who is that Mahomes? Talk about a bum. But Travis Etienne, Travis Kelce, any Travis or a Trevor or a Xavier. Those are great names. Those are our picks.
Yeah.
I always flex it because I always get one wrong usually. But
smart play.
It's a smart play, man. If they're going to let you flex, you've always got to flex on them. Download the app yourself. Use promo code COHN. Play $5. Get 50 instantly in lineups when you're using that promo code COHN. And the app is available in 45 freaking states, including Texas and California. All right. The Niners keep moving up practice by 10-minute increments. And I just got another email saying they're starting now in 2 hours. So I got to get on BART and make my way down there. But, yeah, we'll see who's practicing. You think Ricky will be out there? You think Juwan will be out there?
Hey, man, I want to see it. Hopefully George is out there.
I don't expect George to be out there. You think Brock will be out there?
No.
I don't think Brock's going to be out there. His toe hurts. Dre and Jones mural would be insane. I support it. We got some super chats before we leave. Hold on. Larry Lopez says, imagine if the Niners had drafted a solid right tackle in the first round this year to replace McKivitz. I try to imagine. David Kendall Jr. says Mac is a warrior, needs to be the man. Robert Wood, $2. Thank you. Big Tone says buy Pinnock. At least Siegel is where he needs to be. Well, we'll see. Max Nabella says 2 tight end offense. I agree with you, Grant. Dustin the Gale says signing Brock seeming more like a business decision to draw ticket sales as opposed to a strategic decision to help the team win a Super Bowl. Thoughts? Well, that backfired.
I don't know if I'll go like if they would make that decision thinking, oh, he's not going to help us win, but he will sell tickets. I think it's both. Like we think
who's going to spend a lot of money to watch Brock Purdy play if he's throwing picks and losing?
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think people want to see the return of the Mac. It's a good song. It's a good story. Joey Mellon says Dre and Jones mural would be insane. I support it. Me too. Ryan, congratulations once again for your graduation, for your official graduation, and good luck with your future scholastic endeavors because I know you don't quit. You don't stop.
Can't stop. Don't quit.
Won't stop.
4-man front Wednesday, 5 p.m. on Patreon.
Yes, sir. See you guys.